Welcome back to BRMC's Healthy Connections with our guest today, Melody Sykes from Trauma Services at the hospital. So Melody, we've been talking about springtime, clean out, get rid of all that old medicine, that old paint, and do it carefully.
Toys, yes.
Yeah, and broken toys. You know, and the other thing is too, is just for those folks that are doing this too, that makes sense to do not only with toddlers but with your pets.
Absolutely.
I don't know about anybody else's pets, but if mine see something that looks like it might be fun to chew on.
Well, and a lot of dog toys still have things like eyes and stuff that are made out of buttons and stuff like that that are just not, could be unhealthy for some puppies.
Sure. So, well, what else have you got for us?
Well, one of the things that I don't think a lot of people think about is you need to watch recall lists, because we buy stuff all the time, but we don't think about it being recalled.
Right.
And I found a couple of websites that I thought were very interesting. One of them is called www.recalls.gov.
That's pretty easy to remember.
It's very easy to remember, and it has a whole list of different types of recalls, from cars to toys to car seats to dish soap, whatever, whatever's been recalled for any kind of reason, foods. You can go to this website and look at it and check, just if you bought something like a car seat, 5 or 6, there's actually a lot of car seats that are being recalled, and I didn't realize that until I went onto one of these websites. The other one is put out by U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission, and it's www.cpsc.gov, and it also has from apples to zippers, it has everything that's been recalled.
And that's really important, because I'm sure that there are items that are out there, and whether you're a parent or a grandparent and you've bought something for your kids or grandchildren.
Sure. Or if you're even at a yard sale maybe, and you see this and you think, maybe I need to see if this has been recalled before I purchase it.
Good idea.
So
good idea.
That's just
always bring
something
great
that
ideas
kind of hit me when I was like, that's a good deal. The other things that I kind of wanted to run by us are helmet checks. We have kids that ride bikes and scooters and skateboards, and we're very diligent about making sure they put their helmets on, but are their helmets fitting right? Have they outgrown their helmets? Kids grow and their heads grow with them, so
And we've got the
the bike rodeo, Kids in Motion,
and the bike rodeo coming up
April 21st at Salmon's Youth Center.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So, and
awesome.
There's already some information at our website, www.baxterregional.org, that you may want to check out for Kids in Motion.
And that's where they sign up for that as well, isn't it?
Yeah. They can sign up for that, and that's another service that Trauma Services and
the Active Lifestyle Institute are partnering with that, and this is our second year to do that. Third year? Is that our third year already? Whoa!
Yeah.
Wow. The other thing, and a lot of this has to do with kids, because we care about our kids, and spring and summer really are targeted towards the children. Maybe in the month of May, book your kid's pediatrician appointment then, their yearly checkup. Have it done in May, and then you're done. And you can have your sports physical while you're doing it if they play sports, and have the doctor sign off on that, and you're done, and you don't have to worry in August when everybody else is getting into the pediatrician's office to try to get your kid taken care of.
Good advice.
A lot of playgrounds, and I don't know so much that this is the thing for us around here, but I guess there's like some kind of padding under playgrounds that they do, and they say you need to be checking that. And I was like, well, darn, I never thought about that when my kids were little. I just sent them out to play, and if they skinned their knee, it was just too bad.
A lot of us grew up that way.
I didn't realize that until I was looking at some of the stuff from Kaboom that does actually do playground grants, that you actually have to put padding under those things. Make sure that you protect yourself from the sun. And we're going to talk about that again, because I have my little campaign that I talk about every summer.
Yes, you do.
So we'll talk about that later. Test your outdoor toys too. You go through your closet, you throw out everything that you think they don't need and that's broken, and you take the stuff that's still good. You take it to the Pinkadilly or
Bargain Box.
Bargain Box. That's what I was trying to think of.
Or
the Humane Society.
We've got it. Or the Humane Society.
And so you get rid of those, but check the outside toys. Those wagon wheels could be getting loose. The bicycle wheels may need a few screws or nuts or bolts, and so make sure when you send those children out to play, and it's been really warm here lately, make sure they stay hydrated with their with water.
That's perfect.
Water is wonderful, and their power drinks are great, but water is the best thing for those kids. The other thing is if they play sports, protect their teeth. Use a mouth guard, and have those dental checkups with them to make sure that those teeth aren't getting knocked around like they're not supposed to. And make sure that if they're skating or skateboarding, rollerblading, anything like that, that not only the helmet, we all fuss about the helmet and we talk about the helmet, but we don't talk about so much about the wrist pads and the elbow pads and the knee pads. Those are very, very important for those kids. And as soon as your kids are old enough to tell you about pain and they're playing those sports, you need to be able to talk to them, and they need to be able to tell you what kind of pain they're in, because they might have really hurt themselves and you don't know it, and they can't tell you. So that's that. And stay in the shade, protect your eyes with sunglasses, and make sure that your kids' sports that they're playing, that those adults that are coaching those sports have the credentials to do that, and that they're doing it safely.
Oh, what I had not thought of that.
Through the Parks Department or however. Find out how they choose their people.
Yeah.
Find out how, what do you have to do
questions
to be able to coach soccer and those types of things. That's part of protecting your children. So that's spring.
Yeah, and you're ready to move right into summer, I can tell.
Well, Memorial Day is the big summer holiday that we all love, next to 4th of July. But Memorial Day is our first one, and we all get excited about it because that means that summer's really here and we get to have fun and be out in the sun. But we need to remember a very special day every summer, and it's the Friday before Memorial Day. It's called Don't Fry Day.
Don't Fry Day.
Don't Fry. F-R-Y Day.
You cook like a lobster.
That's right. And this year it happens to be May 25th.
Okay. Not that far off, really.
It's not very far off, and that's why I kind of wanted to touch on it today. I know I'll probably be back on before then, but we want to talk about it and get you thinking about the things that you need to do to stay safe during the summer. The biggest thing, again, is hydration. You want to stay hydrated. You want to drink your water, not your soda, not your coffee, not your tea, because those all have, caffeine in them.
And diuretics. They act as a diuretic
and
deplete your body of all those wonderful
So we want to drink
things.
a lot of water, maybe some Powerade or Gatorade or something like that. But the biggest thing that you want to remember is my little slogan that I have. It's called slip, slop, slap, and wrap.
Slip, slop, slap, and wrap.
Slip on a shirt.
Okay.
Slap on some sunscreen.
Lots of sunscreen.
Slap on a wide-brimmed hat.
Okay.
And wrap on some sunglasses.
There you go.
If you take those precautions and be wise in the sun, I mean, obviously, if you stay out in the sun from 8 o'clock in the morning until 8 o'clock at night, you're going to be fried.
Well, just keep reapplying.
Use some moderation. Use some moderation and use your smarts. Everybody has them. If you keep putting on the sunscreen, wear your hat, wear your sunglasses. And I'm the kind of person that even if I were to put on a white t-shirt over my bathing suit, I would still burn through my t-shirt, and I know that, so therefore I have to be a little more cautious, and I have to use a dark color when I put on a shirt to keep from burning. So you know your body, and you know what you need to do to take care of it, and if you don't, we'll be more than glad to help you. And Trauma Services is really all about that. So we'll have some information probably at the health fair that's coming up, and
that's
some different
coming
stuff.
up April 25th and 26th this year. That's a Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesday's from 7:30 till 4, and Thursday's going to be 7:30 till 3. So that's April 25th and 26th. So don't miss the health fair.
Don't miss the health fair, because there's always a lot of good goodies.
There's goodies, and we've got some very interesting things coming up at our health fair this year that's very unique, that will be very informative. So we want to encourage people that have said, well, I've been going, because this is our 33rd.
My word. I didn't realize that.
Health fair. So
wow.
If you think you've seen it all, I guarantee you have not. We're going to have all sorts of
Well, I
new
was really
stuff
excited
going
with the
on.
physical therapy stuff last year, where they brought in their balance machine and all of that, where you could see really where you were at.
Got even more surprises this year. We've got some wonderful surprises this year.
Still going to have nurses on a stick to take your blood pressure and
on a stick
lab,
to take
lab work and all that stuff, but
which is a great way
more fun things.
Our students that are going through their training, that are just about ready to graduate, come in, and they're doing the blood pressures in some cases, and it's just a wonderful opportunity for everyone. We are going to go ahead and do the free screenings that we've done in the past, so those will still be free this year. So
people don't realize that those lab tests, they really cost.
Yes, they do.
They do, and that for us to be able to offer that is wonderful. That we can do that.
BRMC always wants to give to the community as much as we possibly can. So this is our way of saying, that we can try and keep you healthy.
Exactly. Again, prevention.
Prevention. We're all about prevention. We're always trying to say there's enough other things that
exactly
that you can't do with some of the diseases out there that you can't prevent, but you certainly can try your best. Keep that blood pressure down, eat the right foods, all of those things that'll keep you going.
People may not realize this, but we don't only take this out to the community, but there's a big push in our own organization right now for our employees, our wellness program, where we offer some of the same things to our employees and try to get them as healthy as they can be,
right,
so that they can do their jobs and be healthy doing them.
Yep. So we're all working on that right now too. I know.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
It's awesome. Melody, so we've got spring covered.
A little bit of summer,
A little bit of summer. We're going to tell folks more about summer as that gets closer to us. Although, with the spring that we've had, we've already had days in the 80s.
We really have.
Very bizarre weather conditions.
And it's hard to plan for. It's really hard to plan for because you just don't know. The biggest thing is I keep a little kit in my car, and in my car I don't keep bottled water because bottled water does not do well in the heat if you store it. So I don't keep bottled water, but I do keep little packets of
sunscreen.
Yes, sunscreen, and I keep the little packets that you put in the water, the Crystal Light or whatever
Crystal Light, okay.
So you have a little bit of sugar if you're getting really dehydrated. I keep a sunscreen, I keep a rain poncho and that kind of stuff, but I keep that little packet in there, so it's a little case I keep in my car, so that if I get caught out and I know all of a sudden, oh darn, I've been out in the sun for 20, 30 minutes and I'll start turning pink. I'm just like a little, but I'll look like a lobster in 15 minutes, so I know that I have to really be very careful about how much sunscreen I don't put on. If I don't put it on, I'm going to be red as anything. So I go to my car and get what I need, and it just takes a little bitty space in my trunk, and I drive a sports car, so I'm saying it takes a little bitty space in my trunk.
I've got one to keep in mind too. I've gotten much better as I've gotten older because I've been to the dermatologist a few times, and we've removed some precancerous type things that have all been caused by the sun.
That are scary, and they could have been prevented. Unfortunately, but we didn't realize that when we were growing up. But now,
my goodness, I think
there's no excuse now.
It didn't exist
for the kids these days. There's no excuse because we're telling them, and educating them. But I keep a little first aid kit in my car that has some, Tylenol and some Band-Aids and stuff, and right next to it are the sun products, and that's. If you get into that, it's just like having a toolbox in your car for your car, except you have a toolbox for you. And if you keep it in that habit, then it's a lot easier.
And just a little pre-planning when you're going off for a few hours or for the day. But I always grab a bottle of water.
Oh yeah,
it doesn't matter. And I know that there's enough places along the way to refill it.
Exactly.
Always carry that with me. I don't. We need to rehydrate.
Hydration is a big deal, and people don't realize that, half of the sun illness that we have would be prevented if people would hydrate and sunscreen and use a little common sense. If you're not feeling well because you're out in the sun, get out of it.
Right.
We've
gone through this, I know, every year. We always know that, all right, we're going to have all these spring rains that we've had. Everything is beautiful and lush and green and nice colors, all of that, but the grass is also growing.
Yes.
And we know when that temperature shoots up that we're going to end up with folks coming into the emergency room because they've been out there too long, they have not stayed hydrated,
but they've got to mow that yard. That yard has to be mowed because now it's it's 6 inches taller than it was a week ago. So we've got to mow the yard, and we don't have time to stop and get a drink or to sit in the shade for a few minutes and just do the front yard, not both the front and the backyard. So people do. They love it, and I'm a sun person. I love it. I can't.
I love to be outside.
I canoe, I kayak, all that business. But you just have to be smart. And I'm a lot smarter now that I'm part of trauma services than I was before.
You've got to see what comes through the door and going.
I
this
have,
could have been. And that's got to be heartbreaking when you see someone going through the emergency room, and especially their loved ones are there with them, and this all was preventable.
It is. Well, and especially like some of our water accidents and stuff that really, people just get a little silly and they show out a little bit and they don't pay attention to what they're doing, and all of a sudden they're in an accident on the water. And most of the time for us it works out okay and they're fine, but every now and then there's that one that's not, and it's just really, really sad. And our game and fish people offer some wonderful boating stuff that people need to be taking as well.
Different classes that you can take to stay safe on the water.
And we do as well. I mean, we hand out during the summer. You'll see a lot of handouts from BRMC, from the trauma services, that talk about water safety and things that you can do to stay safe on our lakes. And we have such beautiful water here. We have rivers and lakes, and it's just, if we had an ocean, we'd be set.
Okay.
Yes, I like the
Melody
beach.
on that note. Thank you so much for being our guest
Well,
today.
thanks for having me.
Oh, and you gave everybody some great tips. So,
Well, I hope so.
Yeah, you sure
hope
did.
so.
So thanks for sharing with us, and we'll have you on again real soon and
All right.
see what's going on with trauma services at VRMC.
You never know.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back again next week.